Oklahoma. This is her at this year's World Championships. Miller medaled 5 times at the '92 Olympics in Barcelona. She suffered a torn stomach muscle in March, but came back with a vengeance just 1 month later and finished first in the all-around at this year's Worlds in Brisbane, Australia. She anchors the American hopes in the team competition on a Saturday night when gymnastics began its 9-day run. Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson set the stage.
For 40 years, the athletes who wore the hammer and sickle dominated the sport of gymnastics. 180 gold medals in world and Olympic competition. The Soviet Union was synonymous with gymnastics excellence. They didn't choose their sport, it chose them. Handpicked as children, the most promising left their families behind to serve their country. The youthful athlete, a powerful metaphor for the strength within the Soviet Union. The final chapter of the Soviet story was written in 1992 at the Olympic Games in Barcelona. There they competed as a unified team for the last time, winning gold in the all-around and team competitions. A fitting yet tearful goodbye. Now, as independent republics, can the dynasty continue, or is the end of an era at hand? Today, they face an explosive women's team led by the most decorated gymnast in U.S. history, reigning world all-around champion, Shannon Miller. She will lead a young and promising squad from the United States into the Goodwill Games. And welcome to the Lenin Sport and Concert Complex here in St. Petersburg for the women's gymnastics competition here at the Goodwill Games. Let's take a look at the results after 2 rotations, the halfway point in the team competition. As you can see, Russia holds on to a strong lead, Romania second. United States and the Ukraine are locked in a battle for the bronze medal position at this point. And hello everyone, I'm Bart Connor, and we're glad you've joined us. In the past 2 previous Goodwill Games, the former Soviet athletes have won 11 of 12 gold medals available. They have totally dominated. And joining me as always is Kathy Johnson. And Kathy, when you think about these young athletes who have come to this competition, the Russians have brought their best, and maybe we're not surprised that they're in first place at this point.
Bart, they really are untouchable here. They are doing beautiful gymnastics. They're fresh off the European Championships, so they are in great shape. And unless they fall completely apart, there's no way they won't run away with this thing. And especially they have Dina Kochetkova. She was a bronze medalist in the all-around at the World Championships. And as you can see here, she has perfect form, wonderful strength and power, and all the skill in the world to be one of the best gymnasts in the world.
The Russian team definitely showing a lot of class here, but let's talk about the Americans, Shannon Miller, the world all-around champion, and the veteran. Otherwise, quite a young team for the Americans. Are you surprised where they stand right now, sort of locked in a battle for the bronze?
No, they're exactly where I thought they would be. A nervous team right now, because this is a big meet for them, and Shannon is providing some wonderful leadership for them, but they're going to really get together to try and get that bronze medal. Shannon never ceases to amaze me. I gain more and more respect for her, even when she's struggling, which she has been a little bit here. She pulls together amazing routines. She has incredible will.
Once again, it is the women's team competition. There are 6 full teams here to compete. Each team has 4 athletes, and the top 3 scores out of 4 in each event count towards the team total. The women will be competing on the vault, the uneven bars, the balance beam, and the floor exercise. So coming up later, we're going to have an opportunity to see the final results here in the women's team competition at the Goodwill Games featuring world all-around champion from the United States, Shannon Miller.
So the U.S. already has a mighty mountain to climb. Isn't it something, Shannon Miller, highly vet at 17?
Well, and probably the most excited young lady here from the United States is Min Kim, who is an alternate, but it never does cease to amaze me, the youth of these great athletes.
Team gymnastics. The old Soviet big red machine held a stranglehold on the sport for years. When the Soviet Union dissolved, though, Russia lost some talent. Still, this is a country with a powerful tradition, and it's why the Russians are favored again tonight. These are the fresh faces of an old mystique. Little Russian girls, gymnasts, 6, 9, 12 years old, training at the renowned Dynamo Sports Club in Moscow. It's difficult. For some will find only disappointment, while others soar on the wings of talent. 12-year-old Yelena Tradichnikova is one of the gifted, moving up to the junior national team. But will she inherit the perfected system that was Soviet gymnastics, or will she and others fly in the shadows of a Russian version in decline? Physical fitness and the communal nature of sport was an important part of the old Soviet order. Lenin idealized the citizen worker with balanced physical and intellectual development. Under the rule of Joseph Stalin, all were to be prepared to defend their country. The organization and celebration of sports became an enormous part of society. Gymnastics was widely practiced, but its highest expressions were seen only at Spartacade, the all-Soviet sports festival. Soviet gymnastics made its international debut at the 1952 Helsinki Olympics. The women, led by Maria Gorokovskaya, stunned the world with their complete dominance. This victory began a gymnastics dynasty. For the next 40 years, the Soviet women would win all 10 Olympic team competitions they entered. They won 7 of 10 all-around titles and 158 medals overall. They always had great individual performers. Larisa Latinina, starting in 1956 and through 3 Olympics, set the all-time record for medals won with 18. And she became a national hero at home. Soviet stars such as Lyudmila Turisheva, winner of 9 medals between 68 and 76, and the spectacular Olga Korbut, kept the continuity of excellence flowing into the 80s. After the Olympic boycotts of 80 and 84, Yelena Shushanova led a strong Soviet team to victories at the 86 Goodwill Games and the 88 Seoul Olympics. The last team of the Soviet era competed as the unified team in 92 at the Barcelona Olympics. It won a 10th straight team title and the all-around gold for Tatiana Gutsu. When the Soviet Union dissolved, Russian state support for gymnastics at all levels was severely cut. As a result, coaches and top athletes have left the system. Junior programs have diminished, and the talent selection process has suffered. The system remains in place, but teeters on the edge of decline. Former Soviet star Mikhail Voronin is director of gymnastics at Moscow Dynamo, which has developed many champions for the national team.
I see only one problem, money. There are no other problems. Problems with food, coaches and equipment are closely linked to the lack of money. We are experiencing a crucial stage in Russian gymnastics. Either we will rush forward with new energy or fall down a steep hill.
Some of this decline is evident at the Russian National Training Center 45 minutes outside of Moscow. Amidst the gloomy landscape and peeling paint, the women's team members live 3 to a room in substandard conditions, but no one is complaining. They're here to be champions. These girls, just 15 and 16, are the team for the Goodwill Games. They are Dina Kochetkova, Svetlana Korkina, Oksana Fabrichnova, and Elena Grosheva. They're young, fearless, and committed. Recruited from nursery schools at 6, some have nearly 10 years invested in gymnastics. All are focused on training, hard training, 3 times a day, 6 days a week, over 200 days a year. They're led by Leonid Arkayev, former Soviet and now Russian head coach. He feels the system is still theirs.
I can say that the Russian gymnasts are the inheritors of the Soviet School of Gymnastics, and in that respect, nothing has changed. The only change at present, of course, is inadequate financing. But it is of a temporary nature, and eventually things are going to get better.
As 15-year-old Elena Grosheva works to perfect her skills, she is mindful of maintaining the winning legacy.
Of course, we feel the burden of responsibility. It would have been much easier for us if the Soviet Union hadn't split up. We lost strong gymnasts to the Ukrainian and the Belarusian teams, but we'll carry on no matter what.
And their efforts have paid off. At April's World Championships, the women won medals in every single event. The Russian men and women combined led the medal count. It is not clear whether their success can approach Soviet proportions, but a quick demise for Russian gymnastics seems unlikely. However, with a backdrop that was Soviet gymnastics and Russia's current economic crisis, it will take courage for talented athletes and coaches to stay the course at home. Leonid Arkayev has no doubt about his girls.
We have never lived in luxury, and if you look back into the sociology of our sports, you'll see that most of our children came from poor families. So the current situation is nothing new to us, and we will survive. We've got guts, and we can take a punch.
You know, 4 years ago I was at that training center, and it is a very basic place, but basic is really the key. Those kids are so grounded in fundamentals, it's like they can't make a mistake.
And again, the youth is something that we've been talking about all evening long. And keep an eye out on these youngsters, because come 1996 in Atlanta, we're going to be hearing from them.
Right, but as highly touted as the Russians are, they still have to keep proving it. And coming up next on the show, we'll take you to the competition. Gymnastics started Saturday night with team competition. Could world champion Shannon Miller get the United States pointed toward the gold? We'll get specific when the games continue.
And welcome back to the women's gymnastics team competition here at the Goodwill Games. Bart Connor and Kathy Johnson. Let's take a look at our standings after 2 rotations. The halfway point in the competition. Solid Russian team in first. Romania second. Ukraine and the United States in a hot battle for the bronze medal there at the halfway point. We're getting ready now for the third of 4 rotations in the women's team competition. On the balance beam for the United States, this is 15-year-old Sunny Meduna.
Oh, that is unexpected. I was just getting ready to say she was an excellent person to put up first for this team. I watched her during the workouts, and she was very steady, very calm on beam. And unfortunately, it's not the case now. She's a little nervous. It's very difficult to miss your mount and come back and regain your poise.
The U.S. team was third after the first rotation. They have dropped to fourth after 2 rotations. So they're feeling a little bit of the pressure here. We've talked about the U.S. team being a combination of 1 veteran, Shannon Miller, and otherwise 3 relative newcomers to international competition like the Goodwill Games.
As tough as this is for her, this is a good experience because she needs this under her belt. She's making some mistakes, but she'll learn the world will keep on turning. She goes back to the gym, learns from this, and puts it behind her. And we've all been there.
The entire U.S. team trains in Oklahoma City under Peggy Liddick and Steve Nuno.
Good dismount, a little straight-legged on the landing. Just a lot of nerve there.
Let's take a look at this mount, Kathy.
She seemed very straight, but then just panic struck in. She was, a tiny bit off to the left. She might have been able to correct it. A veteran probably could have done so.
This is the second vault for Tatiana Malia from the Ukraine.
Nice power on the vault. Tight front somersault that's worth a 9.8 if done perfectly. Of course, she had to step on the landing, but beautiful technique, nice lift, good piked position.
The Ukrainian team in third place, just ahead of the United States. Now on the floor, this is Grosheva from Russia. On the vault from Malia, 9.55 for her second vault.
Double twisting front. Highly difficult. You never see that, especially in women's gymnastics. Interesting finish. Really a nice performance.
Watching the Russian team here this week, they've been very loose in practice and doing incredible difficulty and yet really pretty cool about it all.
Watch this. I don't know how you can be cool about doing a double twisting front, but she does it perfectly.